Bad Boys Ride or Die, the fourth film in the Bad Boys franchise. Let's talk about it. Okay, so the fourth installment, Ride or Die, in the Bad Boys franchise is now upon us. It is out on the big screen for you guys to go and check out. And look, the Bad Boy films, man, they are some of the most fun, the most entertaining action comedy films you're gonna see out there. They are just gold. I love these movies. These are the perfect movies to put on and sit down and have enjoyment with. There's so much to love. So when I heard they were making a fourth one, I was like, yes, I'm ready to go back on the adventure train with Marcus and Mike, two characters that you love. And I wanted to see what they were in store for this one but the trailers looked great. They looked hilarious. I can tell you now, after watching the movie, I had so much fun with this movie. Oh my, I love this movie already. I absolutely do. Firstly, the comedy throughout the film is hilarious. Martin Lawrence is at his absolute best in this film. He is just so funny, and what they do with Marcus as the character and the stuff that he goes on is so good. It is just the funniest thing I've ever seen. And then you put that in with what Mike's going through, and this clash of the two characters just make for like the fun time, the funniest time that you're ever gonna have while watching a movie at the theater. I was laughing so much just throughout the whole entire thing. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's one scene that is hilarious, and it's to do with Reggie. And you see Reggie in the trailer. Dude, that scene that he does in the movie is so awesome. And then it ties back into the end of the movie, and the end scene of the movie is, dude, I was crying of laughter. That's how funny I found it. It was just brilliant. Like, they nailed the comedy, the line deliveries. This just felt like vintage Bad Boys. This was the comedy that you expect in a movie like this, in this franchise. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, brilliant. There's the back and forth, the chemistry. You can tell they had a lot of fun with this movie, and it comes off in the performance. And dude, like you see in the trailer, the opening bit is them at the store with the hot dogs and that whole sequence, when you see it in full, hilarious, just brilliant. So I really like it. I really like what they did with Mike and his character. I really, really love the story that he has, and his son, Imondo. Oh, that character is so freaking awesome. I love that character. I want to see that character come back for more. I just think he adds just this extra element. He's freaking badass too. And the connection between him and Mike, now after the last movie that we saw with that whole connection with the father-son stuff, they start to grow that in this movie as well. And there's this beautiful moment at the end that I just really, really enjoyed as well. So I like what they did with Mike's character. Like I said, I like what they did with Marcus. That whole stuff is hilarious. It's just brilliant, and it fits. It fits so perfectly. The story itself, with the whole getting the captain to become, this person that is dealing with the cartel, funneling money and everything like that, I thought was a very interesting story to do, but it was executed well, and because sometimes when you've done what you've done with the first three, you're kind of like, where do you go from now? Because we just had the whole big reveal of the last movie with not Will Smith, that's the actor who played it, but with Mike, with his family stuff and what happened there. So how do you do something different that's going to tie into everything? And this is where we have the whole tie-in with the captain. And I like that story, and I thought, you know what? It works for this movie. It really does. Now, the action of the movie is incredible. I love the action. I saw a behind the scenes of how they shot one of them with the gun, how they're holding it with the camera. And when Will Smith's going, it's like POV and then it flips. So I saw that and how they did it. And it's just amazing how they do it behind the scenes. But when you see it in the actual movie, I actually really like that shot. I thought that shot just added that little bit of extra tension and the extra stakes and the more immersed feel when you're doing it, because when it's in that POV and you're like when he's moving it around and everything, and you're going from his face and you see it from him to switching around to his gun all in one motion, it just adds that extra bit, and I really like that. And then there's this beautiful shots in the actual, especially in the final act, where things are going off, people are getting shot. It just looked so good, and I really, really enjoyed it. There's so much action in here that I loved. That I thought the way that it was shot just added this little dimension to the movie that elevated it for me. And it, like I said, the comedy never takes away from that action because it's a nice balance, and I had so much fun with it. But like that final act is just, and dude, all I'm gonna say is alligators, man. Alligators, just if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. That, bro, there's just so much to love about this film. There really is. There's just the comedy is great, man. I couldn't believe how much I was laughing. I really couldn't. But just some of the stuff that happens in there, like I like the first act, how they build it all up, and they showcase you where Mike is at in his life, showcasing what is actually happening with Marcus. There's a whole thing going on with Marcus that is leading to this. And then when you get through that and you realize, okay, this is what's about to happen, this all happens, and then you get to that final act, I just think that those three it just flowed really, really good. Now, as for the villains themselves, the villain isn't too much like, flushed out, not really like this real high dimensional character where you're like, oh my god, he's got so many layers, I understand why he's doing this and that. No, it's a pretty lazy villain where it's kind of like, this is what happened to him, this is what happened, and now he's doing this. So there's nothing really interesting about the villain where you're kind of like, I understand his motivation, I understand why he's doing that, and how come he's now turned here to do all this. I picked up who one of the main villains were very, very early on. It is very predictable who it is, and I think that was a little bit of a shame, because I was kind of like, all right, I know this person is obviously going to be part of the bad team. He's going to be either the mastermind behind it, or he's going to have something to do with it. But that just kind of like, killed a bit of the mystery they had. But outside that, I still had a lot of fun with this. Is this the perfect movie? No, I don't think it's the perfect movie. But I tell you what, it is one of the most entertaining movies I've seen this year. I really loved it. I think if you're someone that likes the previous ones, you're going to love this one. Like, I'm straight up. If you love the Bad Boys franchise, you're going to love this one. Then you've got, if you like action, you're going to like the action in this. If you like comedy, you're going to like comedy in here. This is just vintage, old school Bad Boys, and I absolutely loved it. So let me know what you guys think of Bad Boys Ride or Die. Did you guys enjoy it? Smash it down in the comment section below. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.